Hi everyone, it's Annemiek from the Academy for Soul-Based Coaching for the Beyond Coaching Summit. And I'm here with Jenny Schoenmann. And I'm really excited that she's here with us because she's one of our certified soul-based coaching, but she does a lot more than that. And one of the really exciting things about where she is right now is that she's going to be a published author very soon with her her magical morning method. And she's here to tell us about how that came to be, what that magical morning method is, and I'm sure there'll be more nuggets. Hi, Jenny. Welcome. It's so good to have you.
Thanks for having me. Welcome. Thanks.
Would you like to start us off by sharing who you are and what brought you to where you are right now?
My name is Jenny and I'm a mom. I have two kids. They are almost 11 and 8 years old. And I have a very nice husband who's a very supportive person. So he gives me a lot of freedom to, after a while of searching what I really want to do and what my mission is here. So having this space now, as my kids are a little older, I'm kind of exploring and fulfilling all my dreams and what I have to give at this moment to everyone around me.
And it's gorgeous what it is that you have to give. Will you tell us a little bit about what that is, what you're offering?
Yeah, sure. I am. So I have been a yoga teacher now for around 7 years, and I'm teaching almost every day. And since 2 years, I'm a certified soul-based coach. And then I'm coaching as well. And now, since around a year, I'm also giving magical morning workshops, because for me, I found how we start our days is so important and it makes such a difference. And so as you said, now I'm an author of the magical morning method because it has been so beneficial for so many. And then somehow it happened that the publisher noticed that and they got in touch with me. So now I'm teaching yoga, I'm coaching, and I'm an author being published very soon in October. Yes.
Yes, it's super exciting. It's one of the reasons that I really wanted to talk to you was because you've really allowed your passion, your heart and soul to speak to you in making this happen. It wasn't like you had this big plan, right? That this is what you were going to do with your life for your next couple of years. Can you tell us a little bit about just kind of how it evolved to this stage?
So in general, I'm a person who is very intuitive. I've never had a plan for my life, never. When I was 18 or 19 and I was finishing school, I wanted to have a plan. I saw all these people around me having a plan, going to university and this and this. And I was just like, I am passionate about many things, but there's so much to choose from. So this is throughout my life. Then I started as a beauty coach and as a makeup artist, absolutely my passion. I fulfilled it, I followed up on it. And since a couple of years, yoga and soul-based coaching. And then there was this need to support people also in this way, how they start their day. And I started to give these morning workshops, and then I thought I have to give them something. And then I started to ask them some questions. And these questions were a little different. They really resonated. And then I started to create a journal first for me, because I'm journaling since many years, but I couldn't find the one that really helped me in the morning. And that was really also asking me the right questions, so that I could give the answers that I needed for my day or for my start into my day. And then I created this journal for me, and then friends saw it, and the workshop people saw it, and they really liked it. And then I started to give it to them, and so it became more and more and wider, and then more workshops. And so again, following another passion of mine has just become part of my job, and a big part and a huge part now of my life. So no plan behind it. It is really following what makes me happy and what I feel is in service to others.
Yeah, and also from what you're saying, it really started with yourself, noticing how important it was to start your days in a way that would really help and support the flow of that day,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a big mission of mine in general in all my work. It has to start from ourselves, whatever we do. I mean, whatever we do, whatever our work is, but we have to be really be behind it and be in harmony with it, in harmony with everything what we do, because otherwise, yeah, I think it doesn't make us happy in a very sustainable way. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and also that thing that we long for, if we're not aligned with that thing completely, then it's much harder for that thing to come into our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's another aspect of this. Yeah. So would you share a little bit about your magical morning method?
I love to. Yeah.
Mm.
So this magical morning method that includes some reflections and practices. So it's not only journaling, it also gives you tips and ideas, little routines and little rituals you can do in the morning or throughout the day to always come back to yourself. And also includes the moon cycle. I'm also talking about your feminine cycle. So it takes a lot of things we usually maybe not so aware of into account to how, so that we can start our day with really noticing where we are in this very moment. Do I have my period? Am I close to having my period? What is happening around me? So it's not like waking up, or I would like to invite everyone, not waking up and just going through the day or starting the day like every other day. So really waking up and taking a moment to pause and see what's happening for me right now. Because we're always different and things are always changing. Everything is moving. So we have to acknowledge that. So this is a huge part of this journal. And then of course you have the questions. There are weekly questions. So you start into your week and I ask you some very important questions you have to answer. And a big part of it again is, what will you do for yourself? So you really make a commitment for this week, taking good care of yourself in between. And also what is very important to me, it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It doesn't have to be every day 2-hour walk or something. The small things. And then of course the daily journaling, which includes gratitude, which is incredibly important, and which includes finding your focus. And what I find very important is finding your focus and knowing why this is your focus of the day. And then also some other questions. And one that I find very important as well is, how do you feel this morning? How do you feel right now? Because we so often forget to ask this very important question in the morning. How do I feel? What's going on with me? How was my night? Did I dream? What did I dream? What is my overall feeling right now? And then according to that, how do I need to move through my day? So when I didn't sleep very well, I'm feeling tired, I maybe have my period, and I might not have 100% energy to do the same stuff that I have planned. So I think this is so incredibly important to acknowledge that and to give yourself a moment to see, okay, today it's not my best day and I have all these things in front of me. Can I give myself some grace and maybe quit or not reschedule this one or reschedule this one with kindness to myself, and with kindness to maybe have a coaching appointment, and maybe I get in touch with this person and say, this is not the very best day, can we please reschedule, and the next time I will be there fully present and fully with you, and we get the best out of it. And this, I'm aware that this sounds like, oh my God, I can't do that because I have made all these appointments and I have to show up and I have to give my very best. But I think we have to rethink, we have to change our lives in a way that we acknowledge ourselves first. And when we do that, we are able to give so much more. Yes. So that so this is the overall umbrella around this magical morning method. Let's see how I feel today. Acknowledge this so that I can serve you and everyone around me in the best possible way.
And is this how you start your day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I had my years where I felt, oh, I'm thinking maybe a little bit too much about myself, how I feel. Maybe I should not take myself first. Maybe I should first see what my kids and my husband need and my clients need. I have let go of that. I don't feel guilty. This is non-negotiable for me. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 2 hours, what I have in the morning. But I always take this time first for myself. And this is not selfish. This is so not selfish. This is really coming out of my room or coming back from my walk or whatever I have done, coming out of my journaling, then I'm really present and I'm really honest with what I have to give. And especially now in our time and in this world, I think it's more important than ever to stay true to ourselves, to not burn ourselves out, not only give and give and give. And then after a couple of years or after maybe our whole life, we think like, okay, what I have actually done for myself. And also since doing this and since working with clients and reminding them, so much is changing and happening, and I don't feel like I'm being stuck. There's always movement and I can adjust to that, and I don't have to follow a plan. I can really see, okay, what's in alignment with myself? What kind of adjustments do I need? And then I move on, and then I move on. And this is incredibly precious to me, and that's why there is not even a moment when I think in the morning I'm not taking these couple of moments for myself. It's too precious. Yeah.
Too precious. Yeah. And what have you seen as a result? Like, what difference does it make that you started to see this as non-negotiable time for you?
Mm-hmm. So I think when I think from day to day, everything I do, I really want to do. There is not much that I do throughout my day that I do and feel like, I'm not sure if this is right. So all the stuff I do, I really want to do. And I'm not saying that I'm just laying down the whole day and enjoying the sun, and I'm working, but what I do with my whole heart. And on the other hand is, as I said, that when I was younger, I always wanted to have a plan, and I always wanted to have these, this in 10 years, what is your 10-year goal from now, or your 20-year goal from now? I admire people who can do that. It has never worked for me. And I was always like, why can't I do this? Why don't I have this amazing mission, having I don't know, 7K business, 20K business thingy in 10 years? It just doesn't happen for me. So what has happened for me is that with my daily practice, I learned to trust. I learned to trust that I don't need to have this, because I know what I need in this day. And from there, I keep building up and I keep building up. So I don't have any expectations towards me anymore that I have to know where I need to be in 10 years. because as we see, especially now in those days, everything is changing and moving from one day to the other. And it's nice to have a vision if this happens to you, but moving in alignment with myself and in harmony with myself on a daily basis will bring you there. You attract the energy that is needed, and that will bring you wherever it's meant to be. So I think this is one of that gives me peace, gives me so much peace. Yeah.
Yes. And I can see that peace in you. And it's, I think you're also offering that peace to the people that you want to be there for, your family, your clients. Would you say that has changed as well, the way that you show up for them?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I remember when I started journaling and I started really taking it more seriously, my morning routine. It was always a big mess in our house. Of course, my kids were way younger and there was a lot of yelling and a lot of stuff going on in the morning. And I remember this one day, it was my kids didn't want to eat in the morning. There was always a challenge. And it was one of these days and I was yelling at them and my husband was yelling. It was just not nice. And they went all out of the house and I closed the door and I was just starting to cry. And I thought, this is now how I want to start my day. And this is not how I want to say goodbye to my kids and let them go into their day until I see them a couple hours later. And then I started to take my morning routine really more serious and created my routine. And when I come out of it, I'm so much more at ease. And however you show up with others, this ripples out. They notice that on a very deep, unconscious level. And this happened to us. I'm not saying that every mornings were just like unicorns and there was just singing and hugging. No, but it was way smoother and I experienced in a complete different way. And I have to say, I work a lot with moms and busy moms, working moms, and working women in general. And we always have this beautiful excuse, but I don't have time in the morning, and I can't wake up even earlier. And I'm also not asking to wake up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, just 5 or 10 minutes earlier than you usually would do. And these 5 and 10 or 10 minutes, everyone has these 5-10 minutes. Just waking up a little earlier and just taking a couple of long and deep breaths. And if it happens that you can journal a little bit, perfect. But this gives you so much more ease and so much more peace that you will take into your day. And this is the same. You will spread this around you and experience your whole day in a different way.
It's so juicy when you can bring that calm and peace into your family life as well. Yeah. And so you say just a 5 or 10 minutes. I agree with you that it seems impossible at some level. And then, of course, 5 minutes are always, if we can't have 5 minutes to ourselves, then what kind of life are we leading, right? There's, in my experience, even though I will often forget, and I tend to do my morning routine once my girl is at school, so it's like space and time to myself. But nevertheless, it feels like it's such like we waste so much time later in the day if we skip that step of really aligning ourselves. So I love that you're making it so very practical and so very clear. Yes, this is the invitation to take that time even before you. But would you get up? Like, do you wake up? Do you actually get out of bed to do your routine? How does it work for you?
Yeah, so over the years, my routine has changed, and I had a year where I was waking up every morning very early, before 5 or around 5. And it turned out that there was not on the long run was not supporting me. I was almost morning routine burned out after a year. So that's when I started to do the magical morning workshops, because then I figured out that small and easy steps are really doing the job, and just 5 or 10 minutes are incredibly powerful. So I wake up and I do my morning, I call it my morning basics. These are cleaning practices. They have an Ayurvedic approach. I'm cleaning my tongue, I'm cleaning my whole mouth, and I'm drinking hot water or warm water in the morning a lot to get my digestive system going. And then it depends how much time I have, but from there usually if I don't have a walk, this morning I had a walk, then from there I went out to the beach and I had a walk, but usually I go on my mat and I sit and I just breathe. And there's also the thing that we think, okay, now I have to sit and I have to meditate, I have to switch off my brain, and I have to maybe get all these visions or be blank. And nothing of this is required. It's just sitting and breathing and just being with everything that shows up, without trying to solve anything or fix anything, just breathing and being. This does all the magic in the morning you need, because you leave yourself alone and you just feel the feelings. And this I do sometimes for 5 minutes, sometimes for 20 minutes. I'm also not so dogmatic, because when I think we have already so much stuff in our daily life which gives us pressure, we don't need this. So I'm just feeling, okay, today is a good day to just sit a little longer. Sometimes I have a short yoga practice or a long yoga practice. And what I also usually always include before, at the end I do my journaling, is breathing practices. Because what I figured out throughout the years of teaching yoga and doing the morning workshops, of course we're all different, and some people need a more energizing thing in the morning. Some people are already so much in their head, they need a more calming and grounding. So, and the beauty is there are so many different breathing techniques that can either energize you, get your digestive system going, or ground you, calm you, bring you more focus. And then I see, how do I feel? And then I do a breathing practice or 2 breathing practices according to that.
Okay, so I want to ask you some things about this. One is, where are your kids when you're doing all this? Very practical, important.
Okay, so as I said, when I started my morning routine, they were smaller. And I'm a yoga teacher since I have always been practicing yoga. So my daughter, I have not been teaching when she was born, but I did yoga. So they used, since they are born, that there is some mommy time when she's on her mat. Which doesn't mean, especially when they were young and crawling around, they were allowed to come in to see what I'm doing, but they were also very much allowed to go again. And of course, I know if you're on your own at home, so I just let them crawling around, but I kept doing my practice. So they are very used to it. When they were older, then I closed my door, because I really trust my kids that they can be on their own for 10 minutes without destroying everything. And as I said, I have a very supportive husband. So it was just like, okay, I'm in my yoga room, so you take care of the kids. But when this was not possible, I would wake up before they wake up.
And this is your 5 a.m. morning?
But now now they're sleeping a little longer, so then it would be, I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, I have to say. No. I wake up usually with the sunlight. At the moment it's around 6 or 6:15, 6:30. And if this is not possible, then I would. So what is a good way to wake, or a good time to wake up, is with the sunlight or around the sunlight. That's a good energy. It's a good energy to get your system going, and it's a good energy for meditation and being on your own, but not before 6. No. So what I'm also trying to tell my moms if you have a newborn or really small kids, then give yourself some grace and be fine with 2 minutes in the morning. When you wake up or when your baby wakes up, take the baby, sit with the baby and have a couple of breaths for yourself. But nevertheless, let them get used to it. There's mommy time and there is time spent with your kids. And for us now, it's no question. It's non-negotiable. When the door is closed, they know I'm having my morning routine, and sometimes they join, but usually they're perfectly fine with leaving me alone.
Gorgeous. Yeah. And I think it's that in itself is such a great practice for moms to actually say, there's me time.
Oh yeah.
Available for anyone and everyone and for everything that happens. Unless the house is on fire, then I'd like to know. But other than that, it's kind of.
Yeah. And if you have a partner, then it's also very much okay to say, okay, you take the first 10 minutes in the morning, the kids or the baby, and I'm in my room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for making it so explicit. I wish I'd had someone tell me that when it's just such an easy thing to do, I think, as a young mom, to just throw yourself in there and to just be available, just because there's someone there who might call on you. Just be available. So that's a really gorgeous example. So that was great and very practical advice on taking our own space in the morning. I do remember my yoga routine before I got pregnant. It was just such a lovely way of starting my day with my partner still sleeping, and just having that sense of calm and time, and just kind of really landing in my body. I'm one of these people who really needs to land in their body in the mornings. Now, you were also talking about your breath practices. Now, I know that you have a lot of experience with your yoga teaching as well, so that's not something that we can just give people right now. But I was wondering, maybe there's something that you could say about maybe your 3 favorite journaling questions for in the morning. It's something that people can, everyone who's watching can just take with them and start really making a difference into their days.
So I think my most favorite is, how do I feel this morning? How do I feel this morning? What is needed from me today? And this makes such a difference for me. That invites kindness into my life towards me. It takes pressure away. And there are also days where I feel like today I feel energized. I feel so ready. And then I also answer the question, so according to that, what do I need to do throughout my day? And then I sometimes also have this like, okay, I can schedule an extra thing here, or I can start something there. So it's not only on reducing stuff, it's also on maybe adding something because I'm really energized that day. Of course, the most important question I think is what I'm grateful for. So we have sometimes mornings where we can wake up and not being in the best mood, or not feeling ready, or just sometimes even asking ourselves, why should I wake up at all? And asking these questions makes all the difference. Whenever we start thinking about gratitude, what we are grateful for, there is no space anymore. It's not possible. There is no space for any negativity that changes right away. And in my journal, I also add to this question, why am I grateful for this or that? And that brings more depth into this. And it sometimes happens that when you answer this question, I'm grateful for my mom being in my life. Why? because she gives me always good advice. This is at least happening for me. And sometimes I give her a call afterward. Sometimes I send her a message. It just triggers so much within us. And when you are grateful, you want to share this. And this is what the world needs right now. And there are so many nice questions, but I want to also come back to this one other question. Today I will focus on, and I'm not talking about writing 20 emails or stuff like this. Today I will focus on being present with my soul-based coaching clients. And then I also ask in my journal the question, why does that matter? And that's, I think, is a very important question to answer. I want to be present with them because I want them to get the best out of our time together, or because I want them to fulfill their dreams. And when I know what I want to focus on, and it should be only one or two things where my main focus on throughout the day, and I know exactly why this is my focus, I also bring more depth into that. And I promise, when I'm having my focus on my soul-based coaching clients for that day, when I'm with them, I'm fully there because I know how important that is for me and for them. So I think these are my, even though I love the other questions as well, but these are, I think these are one of my favorites.
It's an impossible question, right?
It's an important, yeah.
Choice, but I love what you've been offering. Is this also the order in which you would do them, or would you start with gratitude?
Yeah, there was an interesting thing when we designed the journal and I had to make the order. It changes. I would change it every day, but that's the beauty. You can just have the questions and you can just start wherever you would like to. At the moment, it's the first question at the moment is, I'm very proud of this quality that I carry within me, that I have. Mm-hmm. Because, as said, working a lot with women, and what do we sometimes lack a little bit? Mm-hmm. Is being proud of ourselves. So this is the first question. What am I proud of myself this morning?
Mm-hmm. Gorgeous. So this is a lovely, lovely set of questions that you've offered us. I can already start to feel how they're bringing depth to that moment. And I love that you're doing the why does that matter? Or why am I grateful for this? that I can just feel what that brings in terms of the quality of the attention that you bring to that. Mm-hmm. I can very much see how that helps you focus and how that is calling in different kinds of energies and experiences throughout your day. Mm-hmm. Gorgeous. And so if people would like to know more about the Magical Morning Method, where can they go, Jenny?
Mm-hmm. So at the moment, I'm having my regular webpage, which is soulflowandglow.com, where I have, I'm not sure how to organize it at the moment, but the Magical Morning Method will be found there, beside of all the other services I offer. And then very soon there will be a webpage which is called themagicalmorningmethod.com. So depending on when you show this interview, it might be already online. But these two web pages should bring you a little closer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're also offering online yoga classes these days, right?
Yes. Yeah, since the lockdown, I'm offering online yoga classes, which was born, also no plan behind it. I just thought I have to keep offering. And now it's such a passion of mine to stay connected with people from everywhere. And we have these online classes via Zoom. So there's always some sharing in the beginning or in the end and in between classes. So it's also a beautiful way to keep moving and keeping your routines and rituals whenever you need.
Gorgeous. So that's another way that people can connect with you and tap into your energy and wisdom. Thank you so much, Jenny. I think you've inspired me. I look forward to your book being published. It's going to be published in Dutch first.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
fingers crossed that the English and German translations will happen soon as well. But I'm sure that you'll be offering nuggets of the magical morning method in English as well on your
Mm-hmm.
website. So
Mm-hmm.
anyone watching, do check this out and see how you can start your days in a very inspired and connected and aligned way. Even if you're a busy mom, even if there is lots of other things to do. And you know what? I'm kind of, there's a part of my brain that's going, we didn't talk about to-dos, Jenny. Which is just really gorgeous. It's just such a gorgeous example of how my system works.
Mm-hmm.
So we can start our days without thinking about our to-dos.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what part of my brain is learning now as well. Would you like to add any last words of wisdom on that topic, Jenny?
Mm-hmm. Yes, less doing and more feeling and being, for sure.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to know how that ends and where that goes, definitely check in with Jenny and follow her on social media and ask her your questions. So I hope this has been very inspiring for you, and I look forward to seeing you soon for our next contribution in the Beyond Coaching Summit to help bring more soul into your days, into your life, and into your work. Have a beautiful rest of your day.